And page 4. We have another GCF situation here, I think. Right? We can factor out a 5, certainly. Let me zoom in a little. Can we factor out an x? No. Can we factor out a y? We can factor out a y squared. So we can factor out 5y squared as a GCF. Now, very carefully, I think that'll do it. That would make 5y squared x squared. Same thing as that. Order doesn't matter for multiply, right? 5 times 10 to make the 50. And just an x. That will make 50 xy squared. Then plus 5 times 16 makes 80. And no other variable to that. It's just going to be 80y squared. And if we stop there, we get partial credit. Ha! Because we got to factor this. But we did this one earlier, I believe. Same exact thing. What adds up to negative 10 and at the same time multiplies out to plus 16? Got to both be negative, right? Because they're going to add up to a negative, multiply out to a positive. Did you think 8 and 2? Yep. See, that'll make minus 2x minus 8x adds up to minus 10x, and then there's the plus 16. And then, of course, you multiply that by 5y squared, and you get back where you started, making that the correct factorization. Okay, now, here's another thing. See what it says here. Earlier we changed x squared plus 7x plus 10 into x plus 2, x plus 5. How does that help us with the next exercise, which is this one right here? See, that's got the 7 and the 10, but it's got this extra gobbledygook of a y and a y squared. Well, maybe you've noticed by now, the last term, when you multiply these things out, you know, what does the number at the end come from? It comes from doing the 2 times 5. So maybe if we had a y and a y inserted in our parentheses, instead of just x plus 2, x plus 5, what happens if we pop in those y's? If we multiply this out now, we get the x squared, and we get 5xy. Used up the x. Now we do 2y times x. I can just say 2. Oh, I'm sorry, I said 5xy, and I neglected to write the y. Then plus 2xy. And lastly, 2y times 5y makes 10y squared. Do you see that we are getting the correct thing at the end, and we're getting the 7xy in the middle? And it's kind of a handful for your brain to juggle, but if you see that there's an extra variable, a second variable in there, that's not like a GCF situation as it was up there, but if it's to the first power in the middle and squared at the end, try this. First, pretend it's not there. See, that would be pretending it's not there. You get two numbers that add up to 7, multiply out to 10. Use the 2 and the 5. And then jam in that extra variable in the very end of both parentheses and try it, and you'll see it'll work. So let's do that for this one. I'm going to pretend for a minute that this is just x squared minus 14x plus 40. What adds up to minus 14 and multiplies out to plus 40? Give you a second to think about that. And they must both be negative because they're adding up to negative and multiplying out to positive. Okay? So how about a 10 and a 4? And I left some extra room. I think you know why. I'm going to put that extra variable, the y, in there. See, and if we would multiply this out, we'd get x squared and minus 4xy and minus 10xy for a total of minus 14xy and plus 40y squared. That takes care of that. And last thing for today. Well, you see something to take out right away? Take out a 2. You can't take out an x or a y, but we can take out a 2 and write 2 times x squared minus xy minus 6y squared. See, that would be 2x squared minus 2xy minus 12y squared. And now, for this part, I'm going to pretend for a minute like it's just x squared minus 1x minus 6. What multiplies out to minus 6 and adds up to negative 1? A negative 3 and a positive 2. So, for that inside part, I'm going to write x minus 3 with some extra room, x plus 2 with some extra room, and then insert the y. See, there's x squared plus 2xy minus 3xy plus 2 minus 3 adds up to minus 1xy in the middle, and there's the minus 6y squared. And that's the end of our Thursday work. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Thursday.